Good morning children, Sairam. Welcome to this session. Today we are going to continue with the lesson Animal Classification. Okay, we have come to the last part of the lesson. Now let us revise what we have learned. Okay, we learnt about the classification of animal kingdom. It is classified as kingdom Animalia, is divided into two subkingdoms. What are they? Non-chordates and chordates. Under non-chordates, there are 10 phylums. What are they? Protozoa, Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Ashhelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata and Hemichordata. Under subkingdom chordates, it has got one phylum. What phylum name is also Chordata only. It has got three subphylums. What are they? Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Vertebrata has got 6 classes. What are they? Cyclostomata, Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. So in the previous videos we have seen up to Pisces. We saw cyclostoma under vertebrate, why they are called chordates we saw, and we saw about cyclostomata and Pisces. Now 4 are remaining: Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. Now let us revise all the non-chordates with examples and the chordates what we have learned. Once just a quick recap. Okay, we learnt about phylum Porifera. Remember the example icon. So the important points under Porifera you will mark it and you will learn only the important 4 to 5 points. Phylum Cnidaria, example Hydra. Phylum Platyhelminthes, they are called as flatworms, example tapeworm, liver fluke, etc. Phylum Ashhelminthes, example Ascaris, they are called as roundworms. So when I tell you this much, you should remember the page of your textbook. Okay. Phylum Annelida, example earthworm. So you know what all points come which are important for that particular phylum. Only those points you mark and write down. Phylum Arthropoda, a spider, cockroach, crab. Main of Arthropoda, which is an important joint appendages. That is an important point in Arthropoda. Phylum Mollusca, octopus. Example, phylum Echinodermata, starfish. And phylum Hemichordata, Balanoglossus. I told you it's a connecting link between non-chordates and chordates. Okay. Then we came into phylum Chordata. Under phylum Chordata, we learnt about subphylum Urochordata, subphylum Cephalochordata and subphylum Vertebrata. So we divide under Vertebrata. It has got 6 classes. We learnt about Cyclostomata, example Myxine and Petromyzon, and we learnt about Pisces, example is sharkfish, etc. So this much we have finished, and just have given the examples to, and you have to mark the important points which I have explained, and you have to mark only the important points and learn 4 to 5 characters of each phylum and classes, everything. Okay, let us go to the lesson now. Now we are come to the next phylum class Amphibia. These animals are strictly aquatic during larval life. Only in the young larval stage they are aquatic and perform only aquatic respiration, whereas they can live in water as well as on land during adult life. You all know about the frogs. Okay, why do we call them as amphibians? Because they live in water as well as land. Only in the larval stage they are totally aquatic, and they can perform in the adult stage, they can perform aquatic as well as aerial respiration. So we tell they respire with the help of lungs as well as through their skin. Okay, they have 2 pairs of appendages. Digits are without claws. Digits means the toes and fingers. Okay, they don't have any claws. Claws means the sharp nails, like I have seen claws in the birds and all. You can see claws. Okay, pointed part. So they do not have any claws. The appendages do not have any, digits do not have any claws. Exoskeleton is absent. Skin is without any derivative and usually kept moist for respiration. I told you respiration is either by lungs as well as by skin. External ear is absent, but tympanum is present. Okay, Tympanum means it is the eardrum or the opening, the ear hole, okay, of the ear. But the external ear, as we are having ears, they don't have ear, external ear, but the eardrum is already there. It's called as the tympanum. Neck is absent. Eyes are prominent with eyelids. Example, frog, toad, salamander, etc. Okay. So when we eyes are prominent, all these you all know about the frog. So you can write about respiration. External ear is absent, that you can write, and you can write about the respiration. So important points you mark from this for each class. Okay. Example, you remember the frog and you write the points in this. So you can see the example, toad and frog they've given. You can see the soft skin, trunk, tympanum, mouth, okay, forearm, rough. You can see in the toad also, rough skin. This has got a rough skin, toad has got a rough skin. So this example is of amphibia, class amphibia. Now let us come to the next one. Class reptilia. This you know, reptilia means reptiles are all the snakes, all those lizards, all those comes under reptilia. So class reptilia. According to the course of animal evolution, these are first true terrestrial animals with creeping movement. You all know reptiles like snake, all this, they creep. So these were the first true terrestrial animals with creeping movement. These are cold-blooded animals. What is meant by cold-blooded? I told you the term for cold-blooded is poikilotherms, isn't it? Cold-blooded animals are those animals that are not capable of regulating their body's temperature according to the temperature of the surroundings. Okay. So whatever the temperatures are outside, it cannot adjust its temperature according to the surrounding. But warm-blooded animals, what they do, they adjust. They are capable of adjusting and regulating the body's temperature according to the temperature of the atmosphere, okay, of the surroundings. They are called as cold-blooded means they are not able to adjust. They are not capable of regulating their body temperature according to the temperature in the surrounding. They are called as cold-blooded. They creep on the land as their body cannot be lifted up. You know, they are always creeping movements. So they creep on the land because their body cannot be lifted up. This we know this. Okay, their skin is dry and scaly. Think of a snake. Neck is present between head and trunk. External ear is absent. Even for this class, external ear, like the amphibians, they don't have external ears. Digits are provided with claws. So there were no claws. Here the digits, that is toes and fingers, that are called as digits. They are having claws. Example, tortoise, lizard, snake. S-N-A-K-E, children, one small mistake is there. Okay, snakes. Okay, so you can see the example, wall lizard. Okay, you can see the example of this. Scaly eyes, legs, tail. This is the example of reptilia. Okay, now class aves. Aves. These vertebrates are completely adapted for aerial life. Aves means all the birds come under aves. Okay, these vertebrates are completely adapted to aerial life. They fly in the air. These are warm-blooded animals. That means they are capable of regulating their body's temperature according to the temperature of the surroundings. They are called as hemotherms. Okay, warm-blooded, and you can write it either as warm-blooded animals or homeotherms. Homeotherms also you can write, or you can write it as warm-blooded animals. Both are also okay. And they maintain their body temperature constant. See, our body temperature is remaining constant because we are also warm-blooded. Their body is spindle shaped to minimize air resistance during flight. You know, they are weightless. Their body is spindle shaped because of to minimize the air resistance during their flight. Okay, so to stop the resistance, because of that the shape is, they are spindle in shape. So what are the 3 points here? They are completely adapted to aerial life. They are warm-blooded, and that means they can maintain their body temperature constant. And they are spindle shaped. Why? To minimize air resistance during flight. These are the important points. Then forelimbs are modified into wings. This aves we have even for practicals, like you. So these points you better learn it and keep, because this same thing is there for the practical. Pigeon, we are having pigeon in your practicals. So digits are covered with scales and bare claws. Exoskeleton is present in the form of feathers. So neck is present between head and trunk. Jaws are modified into beak. So this is an important point. Jaws are modified. Only in this there is beak. No other class there got beak. Jaws are modified into beak. Exoskeleton is in the form of feathers. That is an important point. Forelimbs are modified into wings. That is also an important point. So peacock, parrot, pigeon, duck, etc. are the examples of the aves. You can see the example. This is there for the practicals also. So this you have to learn all the points. Head, neck, trunk, claws, beak. So beak is the jaws are modified into beak. This is an important point of aves. So when I am telling itself, though, those are important points, so that are specific for that particular class. So that points you can mark in your textbook. For this lesson, I am telling you all, don't refer any other books. Take your textbook nearby you. See the picture of it and mark the points by the side of it. 4 to 5 points important you feel, only those points you mark and learn it, because when you remember the picture of that phylum, easily you can write the characteristics of that particular phylum. Okay, every year I tell them this, don't learn from any of the help books, Master Key or any other books, don't learn. Take your textbook, but that colorful picture will remind you of the characteristics. Okay, now next one, last one, what we are going to learn is mammalia. This is a very important point. Presence of mammary glands is a typical character of mammalia. This is an important and a very important point of this class, mammalia. Why they are called mammals? Because of presence of mammary glands. These animals are warm-blooded. You all know we are also mammals, so we are warm-blooded. That means we are capable of regulating the body temperature according to the temperature of the surroundings. Body is divided into head, neck, trunk and tail. Okay. So many of the animals in mammalia, they have tail also. So digits are provided with nails, claws or hoofs. So we have nails. Some other animals will have claws. They'll have even hoofs. Exoskeleton is form of hair or fur. Okay. Example, elephant, human, kangaroo, dolphin, bat, etc. So usually in the exam, they will give this diagram. 3 to 4 years we are seeing, they give this diagram and they will tell you to write the characteristics of it. By looking at this, many of them, they will think it is aves and they will write the characters of aves. Because it is looking, it has got feathers, it looks like feathers, it does a pterygium, it look like feathers. When they see this, they will write the characters of aves, which is wrong. So when you see bat, you have to write the characters of only mammals. So they will not write the characters of, so they will put the picture of it and write 2 specific characteristics of this picture. They will just give the picture of it. So you have to write they belong to which phylum and class, everything you have to write, and under that you will have to write 2 important points. Usually we don't get this to label, draw, diagram. You will get for identifying the picture and writing the characteristics. Sometimes 4 characters, sometimes 2 characteristics, or sometimes even 3. So maximum 4 to 5 characters of each you have to know it, which is specific for that particular class or phylum, that you have to learn. So in the next video of revision, I will just brief out and tell which all are important points of each phylum, because when I am teaching itself, I have told you which are all the important points that you have to mark and learn. Okay, so this is the end of the lesson, children. Every video I have revised because the classification is important. The how non-chordates, the 10 phylums of non-chordates, and under chordates the 3 subphylums, and under vertebrata the 6 classes. This classification you should know, and why they are called chordates also you should know, and what are the specific. This lesson is very easy only if you learn from the book. with the pictures, looking at the pictures of it. So because in the exam also they'll be giving 2 to 3 pictures and you have to write 2 characteristics of each. So it is of 3 marks. So it is very easy when you, if you have learned 2 specific important characteristics of each phylum. So any 2 points you can write. So this is a scoring question. So I'll tell you how to learn this lesson. So just mark the important points, see the picture and learn. Okay. Hope this lesson is very clear, children. If you have, I will just revise it in the next video if you want. Thank you, children. Take care. Bye bye.